What's up everyone? We are gonna react to a new video now, how tilting off the face of the earth made a melee god mortal. This is a video about Mewtwo. I have not seen it before, but also got it recommended to me. And I mean, we love Mewtwo, so let's see what this one is about.
When you reach the apex of esports competition, it is often the finest of margins that will determine how high you soar. You can spend countless hours preparing, planning, and drilling to execute perfection, but it can all fall apart cruelly in an instant.
The back end of that ultimate. Faker now steps forward. Faker now gets taken out. Faker, no! Faker! What was that?
And while players are obviously engaged in combat with each other, it's often their own internal struggles that decide their fates. When faced with the prospect of devastating defeat, do they succumb to the external pressure, or are they able to calm their nerves and rise to the occasion?
The sound is there, the spray is too, he's got a second AK, and he hits bait off the bomb! They have to run him down, Simple's posted twist, you've got no hope! No! No way! Magic from Van Delkin!
Whether it's individual or team-based, esports is and always will be a game of mental warfare. A grappling match within one's self that unfolds for all to see. A battle between logic and emotion that rages within all competitors. For better or for worse.
And Simple sitting no! Disaster! An absolute disaster!
But when it comes to perilous
Alright, oh my god.
navigating that internal conflict, few competitors have historically struggled more than Jason M2K Zimmerman, an OG Smash savant whose career has been defined by two things: his monstrous melee mastery.
This is why he's king. This is why he's king!
M2K. That quick 0 to death. Wow.
And his reputation for
Jason.
the face of the earth.
Best emote on
And M2K
Twitch.
gives up game one.
Are we real right now, M2K?
Obliterate.
In grand finals?
So how is it that someone who's been lovingly labeled the robot developed a reputation as his scene's most emotionally erratic player? How did this oxymoronic internal conflict become both his
Alright, I gotta say one thing here as well, since Mewtwo and I played Grand Finals. It was Summit 6, which I'm sure most people are aware of, but it was so funny. Even though I was on the losing end, I literally lost like 5 seconds ago in this moment, 10 seconds ago, and word for word, what Mewtwo actually said was, I won, but with a question mark, right? So it was basically Mewtwo pulling a Peach taunt on me, since Peach asked. I just found that so ironic when he was like, I won? I won? Of course I tried to win, but I was very happy for Mewtwo because I know as they're like starting off in the video, like he struggled a lot with like tournament nerves. Even though I will say, I feel like Mewtwo got a lot better at that in his final, I don't know, year and a half or something like that.
greatest strength and weakness. And why is it that despite not having won a significant tournament in years, Mewtwo remains more relevant to Smash now than maybe ever?
Ah! Ah!
What? What?
Alright, so if you are even remotely familiar with Smash's competitive scene, you know about Mewtwo. And if you don't, I guarantee that you've at least seen this incredible picture of him in your online travels. On top of being an anime-loving, party game-playing machine, Mewtwo is also a bit of a numbers guy.
7510 58209 749 4459 2307 164 062 6208 986. That's 82 decimals. If you don't sub, I'm gonna ban you.
And while M2K might hold status,
I hope the person got banned if they didn't sub. Does anyone know how many numbers Mewtwo actually remembers in Pi? 100? I'll take it. I'll take it. It's 100. It's 100.
as a divinely skilled gamer, he has shown that he's more than capable of committing some very mortal blunders.
No! No!
Although his status as one of Melee's 5 gods was solidified by his spicy Marth play, the truth is M2K is known for dishing out the heat better than he can take it.
Oh, Lord.
But we're not here today to laugh at Mewtwo peculiar tastes.
Of course, the Oreo pizza. Of
handles.
course.
No. We're going to explore how he became one of Smash's most influential personalities. And to do that, we need to go back all the way to the early 2000s. Now, from a very young age, it was obvious that Mewtwo was something of a gifted gamer, but he didn't actually enjoy immediate success when it came to competitive Melee. Although, in his defense, before he started attending actual events, he never actually played against a real person.
I kind of started like 3 years late, basically, later than some of the old pros have. I did win some tournaments in 2005, and I became much better throughout the year as I got more experience and practice.
From the outside looking in, Mewtwo appeared to be your typical Smash competitor, obsessed with the game, and at times, a bit socially oblivious.
I was gonna get first, and I, you know.
Dude, we're interviewing someone. Do you think you can make a quick announcement before? I need you to go somewhere else.
No, my controller's gone. I need to find it.
But back then, what people may have perceived
that was so funny as
typical
well.
teenage awkwardness was more than that. Because for much of his life, Mewtwo has been grappling with Asperger's, obsessive-compulsive disorder, and ADHD.
So you would say in general, even though you have had it your whole life, you know, you've made it work, you sort of embraced it, which I like about you,
Yeah,
I appreciate it about you.
It's an advantage in terms of practicing and just focusing on things, and sometimes it could be, as I said, disadvantage before noise canceling headphones, but that's, again, that doesn't matter anymore.
Now, despite the obvious...
I think also one thing with like Mewtwo, like, of course, I mean, I think everyone that like streams, YouTube, you name it, I mean, sometimes for... maybe not everyone, but at least most people. At time it might be like, you know, some, you know, overreactions and stuff like that. But one thing I do find very funny with Mewtwo personally is that he's very funny in unintended ways so often. It feels like a lot of times he's very funny without realizing it. He's not trying to force it in so many scenarios. And I mean, even outside of like Smash or gaming, like some of the most funny people I know, it's especially when it's 100% not intended. And Mewtwo often like makes that happen. It's just, yeah, funny guy.
Obvious challenges that M2K's conditions presented to him, they actually proved to be something of an asset when shaping him as a competitor. In fact, they likely contributed to his laser-like focus and determination to just know everything about Melee. So before he'd even entered his first tournament, he equipped himself with an unmatched, almost subatomic understanding of every character's frame data and their strengths and weaknesses in specific matchups. By 2007, Mewtwo had accrued significantly more tournament experience, and once he paired that with his profound game knowledge, he became almost unstoppable.
Oh, you have to be careful against a play like M2K.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Himself. Eliminated again. Wow. Does it.
Oh, man. Oh, and Mewtwo takes it. He has finally done it. Destruction.
Let's go, Jason.
Has never been able to beat Armada, but mark your calendars, June 1st, 2014.
Mewtwo was a trickster. It's over.
That's it.
It's over.
Dunzo.
It's over. Mewtwo 3-0.
Yeah, and Mewtwo Marv in particular was always so fun to watch. I was never like the biggest fan of his Sheik or Fox in singles, at least. In teams, totally, like, they could play very good, very good. But in singles, his Marv was by far the most fun to watch for me. It's like up there for one of my favorites to watch.
Okay. Nice wave dash on his shield. That is
M2K. He moves on. Good job, Jason Zimmerman from Cinnaminson, New Jersey.
Maybe Mewtwo should have turned into a high jumper.
Mewtwo was one of Smash's most prolific and highest ranked players in both Melee and Brawl. He might not have had the improvisational, artistic style that earned Mango his legions of followers, but his borderline scientific approach and overall quirkiness made him an equally beloved figure in the scene. Fans respected his calculated, theory-led style so much that they began referring to him as the Robot.
Mewtwo, I wasn't really sure if he would be upset by me calling him a robot, so I just called his episode Frame by Frame at that point.
I actually have not seen that clip before. I mean, the thing is also like with these like I mean, I'm not sure if stereotypes is the correct, but like labels, like a lot of the times they are like very exaggerated as well. Even though there are often truths to these statements, like let's say the robot, like there are of course parts of it that's true. I think it's important to remember though that it's often like so much more to it than like just one label, and it feels like so many people have a very hard time to like see past that. It's like, oh, like Mewtwo, he's a robot and that's it, right? Or H-Box plays defensive at all times, he never approaches. It's like, no, neither of these are true. Maybe people are better about it these days, I don't know, but it feels like a lot of those like labels, it just gets like pushed way too much. Because I mean, if you're gonna be like a player like them, then you need to have like more than just like that one thing. Sure, maybe that one thing, like with Mewtwo, like the robot, the scientific approach, yada yada, whatever you want to call it. I mean, fair enough to say it's big, but I think it's important to remember, like, if you want to be really good, it's like so many more layers to it. It's not only one. And maybe sometimes that actually made me think, maybe that's sometimes why some people struggle to like break through, because they seem to have this idea that they can always do one thing and it works for, you know, top players or whatever. So I don't know, maybe some people get a closed off or close-minded perspective, because that's how like a lot of people are portrayed. It's like, you know, black and white. It's never gray.
His nickname was aptly chosen. The problem is that it wasn't entirely accurate. You see, while Mewtwo had developed a reputation as a cerebral melee mastermind, as it turns out, his fatal flaw was that he proved to be, at times, overly emotional.
He should have just forwarded him.
What is this?
Okay.
What even is happening?
Mewtwo just giving him the stop. Yeah, Mewtwo looking like he doesn't really care about winning.
No, he really does not care. No. And the rest.
Yeah.
I'd not be surprised if he just side these off. Yeah, there we go.
Bet your dollar he just side these off.
I always thought that was a little contradictory, because they call him the robot, because then on one hand, like, that metaphor fails because he's so human, right? Because he feels and wears his emotions on his sleeve so much.
That fit. Yep.
M2K, he looks like he's about to cry, dude.
Now, obviously, anyone that's ever competed in anything has, at some point, felt the sting of defeat. But for M2K, the losses seemed to hold a deeper meaning. Perhaps it was because he invested so much of himself into knowing exactly what to do in every given situation. So when things didn't go exactly as he planned, he took it as a personal failure.
Sometimes I wonder, like, who or what he's kind of mad at, you know? Is he mad at himself?
He looks exhausted. Mewtwo looks exhausted.
Yeah, I mean, I think it comes down to, like, yeah, a lot of it comes down to, like, you have invested a lot of time, a lot of effort, and you have goals that you want to reach, right? And then if you're not reaching those goals, it's natural to, like, obviously not be happy about it. And then also, like, I think it can be also, like, hard to grasp at times. Like, if you are in this type of, like, spotlight often, there is so many people that they have no, like, barriers whatsoever. They feel like they can say and do exactly whatever they want, no matter how many lines they're crossing. And I mean, then you have someone like Mewtwo, for example, right? That's going to be on the receiving end of that type of treatment, right? And it wouldn't surprise me if part of that plays in as well, right? Because like if you're getting like a defeat, then you have to like deal with a lot of these toxic assholes, if you were going to be accurate about the situation. And I mean, it's of course easy to say like, oh, you shouldn't care, yada yada, but it's easier said than done, especially if it happens a lot. But yeah, I think Mewtwo also had extremely high expectations on himself, and maybe a time, like, we're all human, right? So I mean, we're gonna have days where we play better or we play worse. And sometimes it might almost seem random that some days you're just playing that much better. You might have had the exact amount of sleep that you had the night before. You're eating the same thing, equal amount. Everything seems to be the same, but you're not playing the same. And I mean, that's just part of it. And you have to like adapt to those different levels of play. That's why people often say like your B game is more important than your A game, because you rarely get to play your A game. Very rarely. Also, in terms of mentality, maybe I'm getting a little bit off topic here, but one advice I probably would try to give is because like that frustrating feeling that will happen to everyone, right? If you're pushed enough, people will be frustrated if they feel like they're that far off from where they currently feel like they could be. But I think like the whole like poker face mentality, it can be good, because even if you feel it on the inside that you want so much more, things are going wrong, if you're giving your opponent those tells that you're about to crack, it's just helping your opponent so much. Again, much easier said than done, but yeah, it's something to remember at least.
Exhausted. I feel like that was not only a sigh of like mental, you know, give upness, but also just like, oh my god, I've been here so long, and everything hurts.
Mewtwo, in essence, was his own worst enemy. He had all the potential to be the best player in the world, but as soon as any doubt began to creep into his head, he was prone to collapsing like a house of cards. Some personalities in the scene questioned whether he had it in him anymore, while others criticized his choice to split his attention between Melee and the subsequent iterations of the franchise, where he was also falling short of his own lofty standards. Making matters worse was the fact that years of warring on land started to take a toll on M2K's body, only adding to the doubts he was having about his competitive future.
I know how good he is. I do know his flaws, but he has so many strengths that he could use to his advantage. But it makes me sad that regardless of how many things he has in his favor, he has to be obsessed about the one thing that might be not good right now.
Now, here's the thing though. In spite of all the...
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of like what, like, how do you say? I mean, that is still, like, it was very true for a large part of Mewtwo career. Like, a lot of big strengths, but that one weakness, you know, it made for a huge difference. But as I said earlier, Mewtwo did improve a lot in that regard. His final year and a half. Could it improve even further? Absolutely. But I think if you compare Mewtwo to like those earlier days towards like his last year or so, it was a tremendous difference. So that's something that deserves cred. Absolutely.
Challenges he faced, Mewtwo was still an elite level competitor who routinely finished top 8 at events he attended. The biggest knock against him was that he hadn't won a super major since 2007. And the last tournament he won with at least 3 gods in attendance was in 2016. Although his path somehow never crossed Mango or Hungrybox the entire bracket. But Mewtwo had the chance to put that unfortunate skid to an end in early 2018 at Smash Summit 6, where all of Melee's top active players would be present. The stage was set for Mewtwo to answer his critics. And did he ever?
Okay. Big jab.
He was looking
Down tilt, forward
That's it. And that's frame one. Mewtwo out. Game plans Armada.
Ooh.
Oh, this. Oh, what a tipper!
A monster tipper. Monster tipper. Oh yeah, I remember this. That's so unfortunate on Leffen's end.
Okay, doesn't get anything off of it. Oh, and Mewtwo.
Yeah, Mewtwo actually clutching a lot of games. Grants wasn't really clutch. Mewtwo outplayed me in Grants pretty badly. But some you know, clutch close calls prior.
Yeah. I think that's what decides this. Oh, right.
Alright, got some decent damage.
Oh,
wow.
Oh, is that it? That is it. Mewtwo King wins.
I won? It is a really funny pop-off.
Although even Mewtwo King was clearly blown away by his monumental triumph at Smash Summit 6, at the time, fans couldn't have known that it would be his last major.
Yeah, he listens to the game audio. Like, I mean, this is not like unique to Mewtwo King, but he always used to mention like the importance of reacting to like Fox's illusion, for example. So yeah, he's listening to the game audio. He isn't listening to like some random music. And honestly, I think those type of like headphones where you don't hear the crowd also is a game changer for Mewtwo King. Honestly, like that's probably something a lot of people should have used more as they start to become more and more available, and so because crowd advantage is big. I mean, in every regular sport, home field advantage is like, you know, accepted. That's the case, right? It's a big thing. In like other sports, it's always talked about like how much of an advantage it is to like get to play more in a setting where you're comfortable. I mean, of course, it's not 1-on-1. You can't compare it exactly between like Smash and traditional sports, but it's absolutely a lot of similarities. But at least those type of headphones like minimize that to some degree. Absolutely. And I think for Mewtwo King that is like so prone to changes in behavior while playing, absolutely super important. Because yeah, then he doesn't hear the crowd, or at the very least like way less.
It became clear that his motivation to compete in singles had all but gone. In the years since, he's entered fewer and fewer tournaments in both Melee and Ultimate, a far cry from his days as esports' most active competitor. But for someone who'd practically dedicated their entire life to Smash, he simply couldn't walk away from it altogether. So instead of choosing to battle it out with the rising crop of up-and-coming talent, he decided instead to bestow his knowledge upon them as a coach.
This is just basic Sonic stuff, not Ken specifically, but Ken really spams a side B and neutral. He doesn't play a ground game much. Like, he doesn't do a lot of running shield or running ground moves. He mainly just relies on the side B. So he just makes up the 50-50 of starting side B and then doing shield, or starting side B and then moving into them.
To have somebody mentor you who's been around for, you know, at this point, Mewtwo King's been competing 17 years or something. So that kind of experience in your corner definitely helps.
Now, obviously, there is no denying.
Yeah, I know over the years, so many times before tournaments, when I was going to tournaments, and Mewtwo King was sending like essentially pages of like notes and other players, and we always try to like help each other back and forth, like remember this against this person, this and this and this against that person. Mewtwo King, like, I'm very happy that he managed to like take that passion and make it extremely successful. Like, it seems like he's coaching people all the time, and I mean, it's something he's done for years before he could like make it a business essentially. So it's cool to see that something he did for so long, for so many years, and turn it into something extremely successful.
That over his decades-long competitive career, Mewtwo King has contributed so much to Smash. But the truth is that the games have given him just as much in return. He appeared on the scene as a quiet, lonely kid from a small town in New Jersey, but by attending countless events, he formed friendships that not only helped him to feel like an important part of a larger community, but also more comfortable in his own skin. Of course, Mewtwo still retains his signature charming awkwardness, and he likely always will. But today, he's confident enough in who he has become that he's now willing to share more of his personality with people than ever before.
Want some scrambled eggs? How do you like your eggs? How do you like your eggs?
Well, you know what? I wasn't the one whose boobs magically grew a size bigger as soon as Jason started showing up. Wait, does that happen with girls?
What? Oh, what the heck? What? What?
And if watching him goofing around on
oh my god, it's so many priceless clips.
Isn't enough M2K for
How can you not love
he's
this?
also been working on an autobiography in the background.
I don't know when the final product's going to be released. I don't really know. I do hope that people would consider supporting it when it comes out.
It's been 84 years.
It's not entirely clear what the future will bring for Smash's Royal Robot. For now, he seems happy creating content and engaging in every possible discussion there is surrounding the franchise. And while his fans might hang on to the hope that one day the king will once again return for his crown, the truth is, he doesn't feel like he needs to.
I don't really have any immediate plans. And also, I'm not really concerned with that because I've already proved myself for so many years.
At the end of the day, Mewtwo journey serves as a reminder that the relationships between esports competitors and their games can be beneficial in more than a financial way. Through his incredible highs and heartbreaking lows, he's become a fixture in a community that he continues to help shape. A scene that didn't just accept him.
Wait, wasn't that Luigi Misfire? Yeah, I think it was like, we're gonna make like I think you got like a piece of paper with something you were gonna do, and it was like Luigi Misfire, and that's the one Mewtwo did. Yeah, charades.
Shape. A scene that didn't just accept him for being who he is, but celebrated him for it.
I just really love the way that him and the community kind of grew together, and now he's in this position where he's helping out everyone else.
M2K is living, breathing proof that you can have a successful career in esports without being forced to choose between logic and emotion. That in the quest for gaming immortality, sometimes showing your humanity is what can truly turn you into a god.
M2K is playing with fire right now. Oh my god, is that it? Has taken out the #1 player in the world. What is happening?
This is the comeback story that we all wanted to see, chillin'.
M2K
He does it.
You gotta do what you want to do, right? It's a lot of people that they are basically like, you owe it to them to do what they want you to do. And Happy Mewtwo found his own thing right now, and he's doing that. And I mean, if he ever changes his mind, he can always do something else, right? So, but yeah, it was a good video. Cool to see a little bit more about Mewtwo, legend. We all love Mewtwo, and if you don't, I'm watching you. Nah, I'm just kidding. But yeah, please let me know what did you guys think about the video. Actually, a question. Was it anything? And if so, what was the #1 thing you learned from this video that you didn't know about Mewtwo before? But yeah, thanks for watching. I mean, personally, for me, like at the very not really like learning new, but like I used to love all these little clips with the funny stuff. The funny stuff with Mewtwo. How can you not love it?